Well, a couple of things that I use when I make these feathers, and they stem from having a background in tying flies for fly fishing. It's made it a lot easier to wrap feathers. One thing that's pretty handy is a fly tying vise, and this will fit on the table here with this clamp, and then you can put the core of the feathers into the vise like that, and when you clamp it, that holds it in place so that you can use both hands on it instead of one. That's pretty handy, very handy tool. Another thing is these sticks are pretty handy. I get these at the coffee shop. They're for stirring your coffee, and these are pretty good for when you're working with glue and different things. They come in real handy. This is just a ruler, and it's handy too because it you know, when you're cutting out pieces that you're going to be tying on, you can measure them. So that's a good thing to have. This is just a razor with a safety handle so that you can cut your hides or cut your scalps or whatever you're working with. And so that's a handy thing to have. Scissors, of course, for thread or string. You're going to need a sharp set of scissors. This is a pair of dikes or wire cutters that I use when I start out on a new feather for clipping the end and getting it nice and even. So that's a good tool. This is a reverse tweezer. I think they call it a bulldog tweezer. And it works the opposite of a regular tweezer in that when you squeeze it, it's open. And that's when you can pick stuff up without squeezing it. And then when you squeeze it again, you can release. So this is really handy for handling feathers. This is called a bodkin. It's basically just a sharp point, and you use this for separating feathers or pulling some thread out if you know, if you need to do that. But you can actually just make one real easy with a needle and a cork. And then the other thing that's pretty handy are these bobbins. And the way they work is you just put the thread in here like so, and then string the thread out the end. Here's one that I've got that's already set up. You can see the thread coming out of the end here. And that makes it easy to wrap, and you can kind of reach into places you can't get to otherwise with this. So that's another handy thing. And all of these together, you know, you don't have to have any of them, but they do make it easier and faster. And I rely on all of these quite a bit in making these feathers.